We bring you the latest edition of NBC News with me, Romeo Omari, and our sign language interpreter is Tauson Kamalata. Coming up. The Reserve Bank of Malawi says it is monitoring global trends for any possible impact on the economy. Renowned journalist Brian Banda confirmed as the new Director General of the Malawi Broadcasting Corporation, MBC. And in our special report this week, we expose the plight of farmers who bought crop insurance but yielded nothing due to drought. In our first story, the Reserve Bank of Malawi says it is monitoring the ongoing war in the Middle East for any possible impact on the economy. Reserve Bank of Malawi Director of Financial Markets, Esther Machado, disclosed this during a monetary policy technical meeting convened to discuss the recent reduction of the policy rate from 26% to 24%. Machado says the central bank has taken a cautious approach as pressures on the exchange rate and geopolitical tensions persist. Trust Office with the details.
During its first Monetary Policy Committee meeting held on 4th and 5th March, the central bank reduced the policy rate by 200 basis points, a move some analysts have described as cautious but commendable amid ongoing tensions in the Middle East. RBM Director of Financial Markets, Esther Machado, has since said the bank will continue monitoring the global trends.
The data for now called for a cautious approach, and hence the reduction, which is still tight because it's just 200 basis points. It's at 24, but still it's a signal to say things are improving. Indeed, there are those geopolitical tensions that are increasing the upside risks for inflation. But for now, we look at that as being temporary.
And the Executive Director of the Economics Association of Malawi, Esme Kanyumbu, has commended the central bank for its cautious approach to the policy rate.
We indicated earlier that the inflation pressures in Malawi are mainly emanating from the supply side. But at the same time, it is also good that monetary policy is not loosened too much because we foresee some risks to inflation.
The Reserve Bank of Malawi reduced the policy rate following a decline in both food and non-food inflation in recent months. Trust Office, NBC News, Lilongwe.
Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Ben Piri, has emphasized the need for local councils to embrace modern revenue collection mechanisms to ensure minimal leakages. He made the remarks in Lilongwe when Nico Tage pitched a digital platform called Revenue Collection and Management Information System that would help councils register and collect revenue. Isaac Jari has a report.
The conventional way of collecting revenue has been prone to leakages and revenue mismanagement by some officers. This is why government wants councils in the country to migrate to digital systems for registering businesses, collecting revenue and management of the same. After appreciating Nicotech's innovation, Minister of Local Government Ben Piri is convinced that local councils can be efficient if they embrace such new technologies.
Councils are mandated to collect their own revenue, but there were leakages here and there. This physical collection brought in a lot of leakages, and we must close those gaps, number one. Number two, it is now a policy from the statement and budget as made by the Minister of Finance that we are going digital. Even traffic fees, he pronounced that they will be going digital as well, no more paying cash.
Clarence Gama is Chief Executive Officer at Nicotech and has assured government and all stakeholders that the system is fraud-proof.
The solutions that the system is bringing, number one, it is killing the issue of revenue leakage. We are closing the taps on losing money as councils because of under collection. We are fixing the issue of unregistered properties, for example, so that the councils don't know how much they should collect. We're also trying to fix the issue of uncollected parking fees.
Kondwani Sante is Executive Director at the National Local Government Finance Committee and described the innovation as an exciting moment for Malawi's quest to ensure revenue is safeguarded and channeled towards service delivery.
Government has gone digital, so local authorities as well, we are going digital. For us to do that, we have to look at the best solutions which are available on the market. That's why the Minister of Local Government has allowed several players in the solutions to pitch, to provide their solutions, so that at the end of the day, we can weigh in and see which one is the best to provide a digital solution to the local authorities.
Through the system, business people will be able to settle their rates or taxes to their respective councils using mobile phones, while central government will be able to monitor performance of local councils in revenue collection through a dashboard and decide how to support those sluggish. Isaac Jali, MBC, Lilongwe.
The Department of Disaster Management Affairs, DODMA, has distributed relief items to families affected by floods due to rising water levels in Shire River and Lake Malawi in Mangochi. According to authorities at Mangochi Municipal Council, a total of 323 households from Kalungu Ward have received the relief items as they wait for more support. Francis Banda has filed this report, read by Owen Mavula.
Barely a few days after Mangochi Municipal Council officials visited households that have been affected by rising water levels in the Shire River, the Department of Disaster Management Affairs, DODMA, has stepped in and distributed food relief items to 323 affected families from Kalungu Ward. The affected families have received a 50-kilogram bag of maize, 3 kilograms of beans and other kitchen items each. Speaking to MBC, Chief Executive Officer for Mangochi Municipality, Ernest Kadzokoya, said the distribution of the relief items follows the Council's request for support to the victims who are in dire need of food, clothes and other materials.
It's the responsibility of government to respond to the people who are in need. So these people were affected by floods, they were displaced. So government has responded quickly with these food items that are before us. There are a number of support items that have come from DODMA. It's basically just to ease the pain that people are going through because of the floods that affected their households.
In his remarks, Member of Parliament for Mangochi Municipality, Roderick Chiwaya, commended government for the timely intervention.
These are part of the people in my constituency who were affected by the flooding. So, as you know, during a person walks out trying to save life, his or her life, leaving out his or her property damaged in the process. So this is just trying to help reach out to those people who lost their property due to the floods that affected this area. And the government through DODMA is the one extending its hand, helping the people of Mangochi Municipal.
Currently, over 170 households in Nsukamwere Ward are also in need of support, and government has assured them of quick intervention.
The Board of Directors for the Malawi Broadcasting Corporation, MBC, has confirmed the appointment of Brian Banda as the new Director General. In a statement signed by Board Chairperson Benson Temple, Banda is expected to assume his duties on Monday, 16th March. Banda replaces George Gasawula. The Senior Resident Magistrate Court in Blantyre has granted bail to former Director General of the Malawi Broadcasting Corporation, George Gasawula, and the corporation's former Director of Finance, Jack Kamajari. The two are facing 3 charges of abuse of office and conspiring to defraud, among others. Delivering the ruling, Senior Resident Magistrate Assunta Maxwell said the bail conditions include a cash bond of 350,000 kwacha for each of the accused, a non-cash bond of 2 million kwacha, surrendering their travel documents, and reporting to the regional police every 2 weeks. Ruth Jinangwa caught up with the accused person's lawyer, Bentry Nyondo.
The two accused persons, Mr. George Kasagwa and Jack Kamachari, were arraigned, or otherwise known as taken for plea, before the Chief President Magistrate Court sitting at Chichiri. The charges were read out to them. They pleaded not guilty. As a defense, we made an application for an order releasing them from detention and bail. And I am pleased that the court was magnanimous enough to allow the application, and it has since released the two accused persons from detention on bail pending their commencement of trial. But the court has directed that when the state is ready, they should file a notice of hearing. So as defense, we will be asking for disclosures. As you know, a case will have pieces of evidence that the state uses. So we'll be asking for disclosures from today or in the coming week, so that we too can start liaising with our clients and prepare the necessary defenses before trial can actually commence.
This is MBC News, a reminder of our top stories. The Reserve Bank of Malawi says it is monitoring global trends for any possible impact on the economy. Renowned journalist Brian Banda confirmed as the new Director General of the Malawi Broadcasting Corporation, MBC. And in our special report this week, we expose the plight of farmers who bought crop insurance but yielded nothing due to drought.
(999-012-734) Malawi Lake Services, Bwenzi Laose.
Welcome back. In our special report this week, we expose the plight of farmers who bought crop insurance from CIC Insurance, but when they did not yield anything due to drought, they have not been paid the claimed insurance. Crop insurance to protect natural disasters such as droughts. Justin Will has more.
Kamana is a 46-year-old woman who used to import clothes from Tanzania before COVID-19 hit, which sent her business tumbling down. To sustain her life, she ventured into farming and was lucky to buy insurance from CIC Insurance. She narrates that the loan was 10 million kwacha, but she received fertilizer worth 7 million kwacha because 3 million kwacha was used to buy the insurance, among others. However, her farm was hit by drought and she did not get any yield, prompting her to claim the insurance, but CIC Insurance has not paid the claims.
Right now, I'm at the crossroads because when I called the crop insurance, they say that they don't know when exactly they will be able to give us the money.
Her story is similar to a group of 5 farmers called Mitawa Men who were given 12 bags of fertilizer each as loans instead of 15 bags, on the understanding that the 3 had gone towards buying crop insurance. The group's General Secretary, Brian Chima, says they have tried all they can to get the claimed insurance, but they have gotten nothing.
It's not only Mitawa Men Club, but a lot of clubs out there that they are crying. People are crying.
Now NIF is on their necks as it wants its money back, but they have nothing to give, and their lives are in jeopardy. These are but just a few people who had put their trust in crop insurance, but have ended up being disappointed. In an interview with MBC, CIC Insurance Head of Marketing and Customer Experience, Elsie Afonso, was quick to say the matter is in court, therefore they are tongue-tied. She added that considering the structure of their contract, their obligations are limited to NIF. NIF Chief Executive Officer Kaisi Sadala said they are aware of concerns by the farmers, and those who bought insurance consist of 2%. Sadala further said they are working closely with CIC Insurance and relevant partners to verify the reported cases, ensure that policy conditions are correctly interpreted, and facilitate dialogue so that any legitimate claims are addressed in accordance with the insurance agreements. The insurance sector is regulated by the Reserve Bank of Malawi, but in an interview with MBC, RBM Governor George Partridge said he is new in office and he is yet to be appraised about the issue. Agriculturalist Leonard Chimwaza believes a clear guideline should be put in place to protect the farmers.
Companies could have given a very good example so that the adoption of this policy should be escalated across the farming community. Otherwise, we need an act, so to say, so that the farmers are protected.
But crop insurance should not be that disappointing because it is the one protecting many farmers in other countries and its uptake is on the rise. For example, in Kenya, there is a company called Pula which offers crop insurance to smallholder farmers in the country. At present, 2.8 million farmers who were affected by natural calamities such as floods and droughts since the product's inception have been paid up to $133.9 million. The regulator and CIC Insurance should therefore pull up their socks in helping the farmers. Justin Mkweu, MBC News, Blantyre.
The Malawi Electoral Commission, MEC, is expected to receive the second consignment of ballot papers for the upcoming by-elections this Saturday. MEC Commissioner Richard Zabuka disclosed this in an interview with MBC at Kamuzu International Airport in Lilongwe after announcing the rescheduling of the aircraft carrying the ballots. Zabuka said the commission has already received ballot papers for by-elections in Mzuzu North, Doangala, Mangochi Northeast, Zomba Chikowi, and Zomba City North. The Malawi Electoral Commission is scheduled to conduct by-elections on 17 March 2026 in 4 constituencies and 9 wards across the country. Blantyre West constituency women have been encouraged to vote for the Democratic Progressive Party's parliamentary candidate on 17th March by-elections. Presidential advisor on safe motherhood, Maria Mainja, made the plea during a women gathering at Singano Grounds in Blantyre. Kisomo Break reports.
Mainja said people in Blantyre West constituency, including women, have all the reasons to vote for Dexon Gonsalu because he is development-oriented candidate.
We brought a message of development to Blantyre West. We have so many women here who have been in problems during the past regime. So we came to talk to them about their vote and for them to vote for Dexon Gonsalu, who is our MP, who's winning on Tuesday. And Professor Thabita Mutaliga is waiting for this seat from Blantyre West on Tuesday.
In his remarks, Dexon Gonsalu said once ushered into power, he will spearhead various development initiatives in the area, including upgrading of Chileka Chikuli Road.
Most of the women here are hardworking, but because of lack of resources and where to get everything, they fail to do some businesses, and as a result, they are always all over without focusing on certain things.
Ballot papers for the by-elections started arriving in the country, signaling the Malawi Electoral Commission's enhanced preparedness for the elections. Chisomo Break, MBC News, Blantyre.
In sports, Executive Director for Finland-based organization like Sports and Development Foundation, Ari Koivu, says the Sports for Education project they are running at Goliati Community Day Secondary School in Cholo District could be extended to other schools if it becomes a success. Apart from using sports to keep learners in school, the program also includes rehabilitation of football, netball, and volleyball fields at the school. The 6-month project is being implemented in partnership with the Malawi National Council of Sports and Mpira Mutimwatu. UEFA Foundation for Children is funding the program with €40,000.
We have now a small budget of 40,000 euros altogether to do the maintenance of the sports fields, to provide sports equipment and these trainings for the Calliope school. So this is kind of like a pilot project. If the boys and girls will stay in the school, they learn and they are active in the physical activities. So then after this, we hope that once also the football fields and netball and volleyball fields are maintained, and we have new goal posts, netball posts, we have active football teams from the whole village, and even for the adults and for the parents, they will be active and seeing what their children are doing. So then we hope that if the results are good enough, so then we can continue with our favorite sponsor, UEFA Foundation for Children, to increase the number of schools that will be also receiving this education through sports, and now at the moment especially through football, like what UEFA is doing.
Well, that item also concludes this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories before we leave. The Reserve Bank of Malawi says it is monitoring global trends for any possible impact on the economy. Renowned journalist Brian Banda confirmed as the new Director General of the Malawi Broadcasting Corporation, MBC. And in our special report this week, we expose the plight of farmers who bought crop insurance but yielded nothing due to drought. Keep up to date with our news coverage on our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You were with me, Romeo Umali, and our sign language interpreter was Tauson Kamalata. Many thanks for watching, and bye for now.
Good evening, and it's time for weather forecast. Localized heavy rains were experienced over the country in a period of 24 hours and were recorded and reported this morning, with Kavali Mayoro reporting the highest at 53 mm, followed by Mimosa in Mulanje, which reported 34 mm, and 33 over Nkhumano in Karonga. A threat of heavy rains is also expected over some areas in the central as well as the southern part of the country, coupled with strong winds starting from Sunday 15th March 2026. Hence, we are all advised to stay alert. We are, however, currently still expecting localized thunderstorms and rains to persist over the country due to the influence of the Intertropical Convergence Zone, ITCZ, which is still oscillating over the country. Tonight, therefore, we should expect cloudy conditions to persist over most areas, accompanied by localized thunderstorms and rains, which will be heavy in some areas over the south as well as lakeshore areas. Similar conditions are also expected to persist tomorrow in the morning hours, coupled with foggy conditions as well as occasional windy conditions. Temperatures are also expected to remain mild tomorrow in the morning hours over most areas in the south, the central, as well as the northern part of the country. But cloudy conditions should also be expected to persist tomorrow in the afternoon hours over most areas, coupled with localized thunderstorms and rains over the south, the central, as well as some parts along the lakeshore. Temperatures will also remain hot tomorrow in the afternoon over some areas such as Ngabu and Nisanje at 31 degrees Celsius, 28 over Karonga, as well as Nkatabe, but we should expect warm conditions to persist over most areas in the south, the central, as well as the northern part of the country. Looking into Sunday, we should expect cloudy conditions to persist over most areas, coupled with foggy conditions in some areas, as well as localized thunderstorms and rains, which will be heavy in some areas. I'm Tepu Akutamutu. Be wise, be weatherwise.